on. So in studio we have Ndini Nyoro, who's a Kiaru Member of Parliament, and Dr. Pamela Odhiambo Migori, Woman Rep. Thank you for staying with us on News Center. So I need your closing comments.
You
as we
cut
wrap.
me short when I was just saying something.
Okay, go.
Yes, pole sana kwa hiyo family.
Yeah,
na hata kwa
that's
yule
painful.
mwenye umba. I don't know why I want to believe maybe he didn't intend it, but
They strayed off their
all the same.
compound.
But pole sana kwa mama mtoto na hiyo family yote. I was saying about the concept of what my friend is saying about these amendments. Amendments are good, but I don't think it is just good to initiate amendments of this magnitude because an individual feels affected. What I mean here is, even in this country, the entire country, the president and the deputy has got certain rights. And even if the president was to die, no minister would just wake up and do things that the president should have done. And so I think this amendment of trying to say that any court of judge of the Supreme Court should come up and do this thing, it needs to be looked at again. I think all along, Jubilee people have been saying, even at some of the ugly scenes that Kenyans thought the president did not behave very well, they were saying, you know, the president is a human being. And so our judges can also travel, they can fall sick, and it is understandable, they are human beings. I think as we talk about issues of law making and amending sections of those laws to cover the country, it is also important to remember, will we amend the laws guarding the presidency and the powers therein to be open to everybody else who is in that entourage? I think that begs the question. And the case of going back to manual systems, I was saying that Jubilee is confusing the nation. They rejected the manual. They came with the .com thing. We want to see those scanners on the ground, scanning those forms. The votes will be counted there. And in fact, it was those counting of the real votes from the polling stations that made NASA aware and that made Raila aware that whatever was being projected on the screen was sinister. They were not tallying with what we had on the ground. Okay. So, you know, the votes were, nobody refused the counting of the votes. All these forms, according to me, and I believe according to Nyoro and Jubilee and NASA and everyone else in Kenya, they were generated from actual votes that were counted at the polling station.
Okay.
Leader, I have to say, it's very hard to counter ignorance. Because when you talk about electronic system, you talk about scanning. When you scan a paper, you don't throw it up to bombers. There is a system in between that transmits the scanned form on the portal of IEBC to the intended destination. Therefore, what we are saying is this. If there is a form, even if you scan it, Mheshimiwa, the only way that you can transmit that form to the IEBC system so that it reaches bombers is on the platform where we are supplied by Safran Morpho and Safaricom. Devoid of that, definitely technology stops to work. That's why we are saying, if you count the votes as the polling station and the technology has failed, give a provision that you can deliver this form, a hard copy, to bombers. Because the issue is adding up the numbers so that we get the winner. But my closing remark.
Yeah, you need to close.
I want to say that it's a good offer. We had an offer from UNDP to print our ballot papers. But we said no, thank you.
Both sides, both North and Jubilee.
Yeah, because Kenya, we already have enough resources. Kenya is a self-sufficient economy. And we are going to pass the supplementary budget to support the IEBC either today or tomorrow. There are better cases they can help, cases like Haiti, like Liberia, because we have an independent institution which is funded by the Exchequer. And Mheshimiwa, take this message to your party leader. The money you are collecting from Kenyans, because I can see clearly you are going to lose on the 26th. It is better utilized by renovating his rural home, because from 27th, he will need that home to rest for his permanent political retirement.
Hallelujah. Now it's my time to close. Thank you very much, because, my friend, the issue here, At least the Kenyans have given that money willingly. But this Jubilee government has been fleecing people and stealing from the people of Kenya and using this money to fatten their pockets and stage the kind of arrogance in public which only God will deal with. So I want to tell you, with all the humility and in the name of Jesus, Raila is winning this election. He will be sworn in as the president of Kenya, and it will come to pass. Thus says the Lord. That one you can take home, and we will come back and you ask me, Pamela, you said it.
Again.
Oh, yes, because it has been decided. What I want to leave with Kenyans out there,
okay,
from the president to the whoever it is, even the children who are yet to be born, let us get back to the crossroad and let us uphold righteousness in Kenya, and everybody will be at peace. That is my message to the nation. The heavens agree with it. The earth agrees with it. Thank you very much, viewers. Until next time.
People, thank you for watching News. What?
I'm preaching to you now, and you're refusing to be born again.
You need to have a church, my friend.
You're watching News
Oh, you have a church.
Thank you so much for staying with us on News Center. Ndini Nyoro Kiaru, Member of Parliament, and Dr. Pamela Odhiambo Migori, Woman Rep. Thank you so much for your time. Allow me to take you back to our top story this morning. So the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is meeting NASA and Jubilee presidential candidates, stroke their representatives to appraise them on the level of preparedness ahead of the October 26th repeat presidential election. The meeting will also be key in trying to solve contentious issues presented by both parties ahead of the poll. Our Murimi Mwangi is at the Bomas of Kenya, keeping an eye on what is happening there for us. We do understand that NASA have sent in a team on the ground as well to be part of that meeting. Initially, they had made it clear they were not going to be part of that particular meeting. But as we speak right now, we do understand that the Jubilee team has just made its way to the Bomas of Kenya, led by Raphael Tuju, the Secretary General. We also understand from the NASA team, James Orengo, remember, was the lead counsel in that petition for NASA. He's also just made his way to the Bomas of Kenya.
Thank you very much, Linda.
All right, so, and on that note, allow me to leave it at that. On our Twitter poll question this morning, we asked you, what do you think IEBC should do to solve the stalemate with